Hi guys, John here, Forex Fire. Got me a nice cup of tea with me and the mug. It's time to make it happen, guys. Excuse me. Right. So first of all, I just want to give you a little heads up on where I'm at. We didn't do any homework last week because I'm concentrating on the funding challenge that I'm doing at the moment. The first week I started it, silly me, didn't check the account I was trading it on. And it was on my other funded account, which is a talent bonus one, which is I get paid bi-weekly on the profits that I do. Hit £600 profit, all's not lost. I still gain some profits to bag for that, to be fair. But it's put me a week behind my official challenge, if that makes sense. Again, we've been hitting some good profits on that, as you've seen when I've been posting. But silly me, on the Friday, normally I don't tend to trade on a Friday. I got in on a trade on Friday, gone just yesterday, and the trade was still going, and it ended in the red, but it's not stopped out. Okay, it's not stopped out. Technically still live, but we've got to wait for the markets of opening on the Sunday night going into Monday. Hopefully that'll come back to where I expect it to. Fingers crossed. If not, and it does hit the stop loss, all's not lost. I'm still in profit, although my window of opportunity to get the verification stage will be getting slightly less. But again, we don't stress on this. We've got the mindset and we've got the key and we've got the emotions under control. Okay, so this week what we're going to be doing is doing some homework on the basis of supply and demand. Okay, and this week I'm going to be sort of showing you the higher time frame, bringing it down, and then a technique that you can sort of look at for extra confluence and volatility, get the teeth in, which is going to give you the knowledge of knowing that these areas within these areas, if that makes sense, which will come noticeable in a moment, gives you the confidence to take them from. Okay, so again, there'll be two links in the video description of this homework section right now. Those two links will direct you towards an opportunity which is outside of the stepping stone community that we have. Okay, I urge anybody that has got the confidence and starting to see the consistency, okay, because I work on the three preference: confidence, consistency, and profitability. If you feel you've got those two locked down, now could be the time for you to click one of those two links that's in this description and take the opportunity to start getting yourself prepared to becoming a funded trader, or going through the process of becoming a funded trader. So please, if you are in that process now and you feel you're there, click on one of those two links in the description. Okay, guys? Right. That's all the housekeeping over with. Let's go to share the screen. Now, what I'm going to do is we are on a daily. Let's have a look. We'll go to a daily. Right. So what I want you guys is to pick any pair on the charts, okay? And you can see we've got the up and the down candles. We all know the bankers stuff, and this has worked on the same sort of preference, okay? Although it's working on a zone technique, okay? It's to simplify the process of pulling out fibs and things like that. So I'm trying to condense things down into a manageable, more digestible, educational process for you guys, okay? So as you can see, I've got two sets of candles on here. I've got the blue, which is my buy, and the black, which is for the sells in this instance. There may be different colors on yours. Again, it's just down to personal preference. If we scroll out, we are going to start to take notice of this particular push, okay? This particular push at the moment. I'm going to get my square, and I'm looking for the sells before the buy and the buy before the sells. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this one here. And what you need to do, guys, is do wick to wick. Okay, so as you can see in here, I've got the top of the wick, the bottom of the wick. The price action with regards to the candle and the story it tells you is important. It's always a wick to wick. Yes, the wax that you see in between is very important, but also the wicks are just as important as anything else, because this is where price has previously been, and it's where price can come back to respect those areas. Okay, and we spoke in the last video about the importance of the 50% areas of these sort of zones. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go on to the template. Let's get rid of that template of the box, and because it's on the top, it's known as a supply, so we call that the supply daily. Okay, wick to wick, and I'm going to pick the lower area. Okay, so let's go for this one. This one here is your demand. Okay, so I'm just going to put demand. Just change that to a D. So we've got two areas. We've got on the top end, we've got the supply. On the bottom end, we've got the demand. Sorry. So I'm just going to, instead of it confusing everybody, we'll try and keep it all the same. Now from there, again, this is not going to be a trade by all means. I'm just going to teach you how to sort of load out and have the charts ready. Okay, so we've got identified a high area and a lower area. Again, what we can do, we can have a look at this area here. Now, this is the buy before the sell. Can you guess which area this is? Will it be supply or will it be demand? It's supply, because it's above the previous price action. Okay, so again, let's get this, and we have supply daily. Supply daily. Again, not to confuse it, we'll just put supply D. Now we're going to be going down a time frame. So now as we look into this, we can see I haven't picked this top one on. I haven't picked this top one on purpose. Okay, it's just good because it's going to interfere with this lower one, because this has come back and retrace, if that makes sense. So we've got the high, we've got the supply daily zone. Okay, wick to wick, we go down. We've had the sellers in control. We've had a bit of a push back up on the upside. Might not look much on the daily, but again, times fractal. So we've got this price action here, wick to wick, zoned out. We've got this as a supply daily, and then we've come right the way down to the bottom. We've created a demand because we've got the sell before the buy. Because what we can see now is the price is just starting to push out, or just starting to come out of the demand area. Okay, guys, so leave the magic one there. Let's go down to the 4 hour. So when I'm marking these out, I'll generally go from a daily to a 4 hour to a 1 hour. Okay, they're my favorable sort of areas. So let's go to the 4 hour. Now, as you can see, this here was a daily time frame. Okay, and look at how many candles we have within here. Okay, and look how it's respected fractal wise within this area. Okay, now if I was to pull out the fib retracements, and we spoke about this in the previous video, you see how the quarter points are very important as well. This is why when we come back in for a retracement at a later time, where it'll come back into this as a daily area, when you come down fractally, okay, fractally, these segments, it's like when you slice an orange open, you'll get segments around the orange. It's a bit like that. You're slicing, you're dissecting the area, and you get these quarter areas, okay? And these will be touched at certain times within the return phase, okay? So not to confuse anything, I'm just going to delete that out. This was just to show you. The purpose of this live, or this video for the homework today, is we are going to start to look at obviously what we call nesting. Okay, and I'll just type that out. This is a technique, it's called nesting. Okay, And what I mean by nesting is it's where price returns, and it gives you an extra confluence from whether it's the daily into the 4 hour or the 4 hour into the 1 hour. You have a supply zone within a supply zone. And then this is what's known on a technique as nesting. Okay, so let's just take a look. So we're not going to confuse things. We're going to be taking a look into this top area. This was the daily. Okay, so we've come down, and from there, let's just get this here, the last up before the down. This technique here. So this here, as you can see, wick to wick. Okay, wick to wick. This is a nested or nesting area. Okay, for the 4 hour. So we are technically going to move the box, keep the box there, I should say, and this is going to be our supply area. Okay, and it is a 4 hour. Okay, now all this will start making sense very soon. Now, if we go back up your time frame, let's just go to the daily. Okay, you will see just what it looks like on the daily time frame. You've got, this is a nested area. You could possibly give it a different color, to be fair. We'll give it an orange. Okay, right, so you've got on the daily, I'm going to move that into the inside. Okay, so you've got the supply daily and you've got the supply 4 hour. Okay, so we go back down to the 4 hour, and this is the technique that is known as nesting. Okay, and I'm going to get used to do something in a moment. I'm just going to draw out a few more things. Click on auto. This brings everything back in. Let's move down to the next sort of zone. We can see now this is going to show you the power in this. Okay, so we've got the last buy before the sell. Okay, now can you see what's happening here? Okay, if we go back to the daily, okay, you can see here on the daily itself, okay, we've got the down maneuver on there. But if we go down to the 4 hour, in fact, no, that would be, get rid of that, scrap that idea, guys. If we go down to the 4 hour, okay, again, yes, that'll be correct. We've got the buy before the sell. Okay, and for mitigation, okay, we go on about mitigation. We always go on around about 50%. It doesn't always have to be 50%. When you get these blocks, okay, when you get these zones, supply and demand, you are simply just waiting for a push out. You're waiting for a return of price back in. It can happen anywhere within the segment of here. You can see we've got the retracement and the push just back into just before the 25 area. Okay, and then it made its push back out. Okay, let's get rid of this. So we've got this marked up as the daily. We need this one marked up as, this one will be a supply. Supply 4 hour. So we've got the box within the box. Again, center and inside, just so we can keep an eye on this. And then again, we go down, we can see within this box, we've got the last down. I would possibly incorporate the two candles on this one, to be fair. This here is our demand. Four-hour. Okay. Now we're going to leave that in there, to be fair. So there we have, guys. We've got the 4-hour on the demand, the daily, and we go down to the 1 hour finally. And you can see with fractal wise, we can see as this has pushed out, it came back, and you see how it's respected this area. It's came out, respected, then it's come away. So let's have a look on the higher end. Let's go to the top end. So within this push out here, you've got wick to wick. This here is your supply 1 hour. We'll put that inside in the center. Okay. Let's scroll down. You've got another one here. Wick to wick. Again, supply 1 hour inside. And I'm just going to look at something a minute, guys. Do from here up to here. And you see this, how these quarter points within the daily, this is a really good confluence here. It's nearly 50% of that 1 hour, supply area. Right. And then we've got the 25 here on the return. It's possibly on the open of the 1 hour here. Let's move down into the one hours here. Again, this is on the 1 hour time frame. Buy before the sell. So again, this is a supply 1 hour. Move that inside. And again, we've got one here. Blue candle there. And sometimes this may get a little bit messy, but you can scope out of the picture and you can see exactly where you are at the end of it. Supply 1 hour inside. Okay. And then, I mean, to be fair, I would possibly get rid of that one now. And I would use the hourly on this here to come back to test, to be fair. But again, it may get a retracement into the 50% area. So this is a demand zone. Demand 1 hour inside. Click on that, scroll down, and then if we just click auto, just see what happens there. So this is what we have, guys. Okay, you've created different zones, and again, it does take time to get used to. You will have your own parameters, your own color selections. Okay, what you can do, in all honesty, as well, is to create your 50% areas like this marked up here. marked up here. Got one marked here. Marked here. Marked there. So those there, guys, will be my focal points for where price could technically sort of reach as very important levels. Whether it could return to, or if we see a push, if we bounce off here, we then off the 1 hour here, we may then get a push back down to test off here before we get a further push up into the 4 hour, if that makes sense, which then would technically mean this downtrend here, you're getting the push up, retest, so we get the break and retest of a trend line, and then go up to the higher side, if that makes sense. There's loads of different ways that this can sort of play out. What I want you guys to do for now is sort of draw these up. Don't worry about doing these lines at the moment, but if you can draw these up from the daily, identify certain areas, and I'm just going to go back onto the daily here for now, where we originated from. You can see how everything is sort of nesting within the daily. Okay, we'll go back down to the 1 hour, which is where we would initially want this to be playing out. And it's all about seeing which areas are giving you the most confluence and sort of what's the word, when you've got a lot of these zones within a zone, then you know the price is going to respect it even more, to be fair. So for instance, this one here, okay, we technically have a lot of resistance in this area, so we might find that this may, from this demand area, it's going to push up, and it may give us a lot of resistance on here. Okay, within the daily, this one here is the daily zone altogether, where you've got a 4 hour and 2 1 hour zones, for it to push back down onto the lower demand before pushing up onto the further higher supply areas. So I hope that's made a little bit of sense. Again, it's just trying to break down the order blocks in the system of what is smart money, because the order blocks is in essence really just smart money. It just, you're not waiting for signature patterns, you're not waiting for certain maneuvers or breaker structure to attain breaking out a fib level. You can actually use the order block system with regards to the supply on the top, demand on the bottom, for the return to come back to these zones, whether that be start the trade at the open of the zone price, or the quarter area, the halfway point, the quarter area, or towards the back end of the zone. Okay, I hope that's made sense. I'm just going to stop the share, and again, there'll be a couple of links in the video description here below. Okay, I will also have my chart layout of what I've just done there. Once you've done your daily, your 4 hour, and then down to your 1 hour, if you guys can just go back onto the share screen. Just bear with me. Computer's gone a little bit funny. There we are. Share the screen. So if you guys can go down to that 1 hour and then just show me, okay, if you guys can just show me exactly where you are with regards to this technique we call nesting. Okay, and just have your areas out like this with regards to the supply and the demand areas, just have them marked out. Have a little bit of fun, practice the technique, see what happens when you see the price come back to return to these areas. Okay, again, they will be respected some way, shape or form. If you are in the fears from the consistency, confidence, and onto the profitability, if you want to see a little bit more what we do, click one of the links below. Get involved with what is involved with that link, with the easy effects that we do. Again, reach out to myself, Andy, or Mark. They're the two links that those guys have. Again, guys, I hope this homework is giving you a bit more sort of guidance towards smart money in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's on the order blocks and you're not confident with the fibs just yet, this could be a way forward to help you identify and look at the market structure. Okay, guys, so I'll catch you all later.